What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming, the show where we talk about gaming news. My name's Seth.
And I'm Chevy.
And a couple quick reminders to download and play Vampire Need for Speed Payback, both off for free on PlayStation Plus. Make sure to download those, play those, come back at the end of this month for Plus Club. Let us know what you thought of those games. We'll let you know what we thought of them. And our game of the month randomly picked is Dragon's Dogma, which is a third-person action RPG. Make sure to download that, play that, and come back at the end of this month as well. For Game of the Month, we're going to discuss that game and pick a brand new Game of the Month. And soon, we will be letting you guys pick the Game of the Month for December. So stay tuned for that. We have a Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms if you prefer to listen to us. And if you'd like to support the channel, you can like this, comment on this video, watch it all the way through, or check out our Patreon link down below. One thing I want to throw out there real quick before we start this episode is you may have noticed we did not have a Tasty Cast out. We are, in fact, rescheduling our schedule for the channel. So this is going to be official. Unless we change otherwise. But so far we got Tasty Tuesday on Tuesday, and we've been doing Tasty Cast on the weekend, but it's been coming out on Monday, and I haven't really liked how clustered that is, where we film like on a Sunday into Monday and then Monday into Tuesday. We have two shows back to back, so I kind of feel like it's better spread out if we start filming possibly Thursday and putting the episodes out on Friday. So from now on, we're going to be aiming for Tasty Tuesday on Tuesday, which is today, and then on Fridays, we're going to have Tasty Cast. So you'll have the weekend to watch that or catch up on the episodes, and then you'll have Tasty Tuesday come out. And I feel like it'd be better if all the episodes are more spread out. And then, of course, anything that we do otherwise will just be random at that point. But those two shows, I want to get, split up a little bit. So to reiterate, Tasty Tuesday on Tuesday, of course, and then Tasty Cast on Friday, unless we change that up. So that is the new official schedule. First bit of news is a little bit of PlayStation news. From moving to PS4 over to PS5, we have some changes coming out when it comes to how parties are working, in that Sony has put out a system where it essentially is recording 5 minutes of your party chat, and you can decide at any point to record 20 seconds of that and send it to PlayStation if you wanted to report somebody for saying something, harassing you, something like that. With this update that just came out in preparation for PS5, a lot of people have come out not very happy with this. A lot of people saying that they don't like the idea of being spied on, being recorded, being listened to at all times. Pretty typical stuff that you hear when it comes to tech in general nowadays, and people are very upset with that. So our PlayStation has come out and said in a tweet, "Hey folks, just wanted to let you know that we're looking into your feedback on the recent changes to parties on PS4. Thanks for speaking up. We'll keep you posted." And then in that time, I believe I read something as well where they came out and clarified that they are not, in fact, recording you at all times. For them, it's literally a 5-minute window that is always kind of temporary, and you can decide within that time to clip out the 20 seconds and send it if you wanted to do that. So they are open to hearing about people's complaints about it, and they seem to be willing to maybe work with people if they're not too stoked about it. A couple tweets that are here of people's complaints is, let's see, this one says, "This monitoring thing is not good. Like, what is the point of that? PS is the place to be chilled, not a place to worry about what you're saying all the time. You guys are ruining the experience." Another person says, "The new changes to this party is trash. I don't want to be recorded in a party that's not even fair. I don't want to be spied on because I have freedom of speech to say what I want in PlayStation Party." And the last one says, "It's invading my privacy. I thought I was allowed to say whatever I wanted, but now I got to be recorded. It's pretty invasive to me, and I hate that I have to make a group to create a party. Bring back the old features where I could just create a party and invite people. It was easier." One thing I want to add on to this as well is this is out now, and I can tell because recently I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima Legends, and when I created a party to talk with people, it had saved a party I was in prior, something that Discord does as well. Mm-hmm. And also, any messages I've had with people were in that already, and you can go to a separate section to look for people's individual names, which is different than how it used to be. You used to have a list of people's names, and now it goes to your messages, which is kind of a weird system that I don't know if I'm a big fan of it. I guess if you've played with the same people all the time, it makes sense, but for me, it's always fucking random. So, anyway, this is implemented, you have a 5-minute window that you can record 20 seconds to report things if you want. What do you think about that system? What do you think about the concerns of being spied on, being recorded? Sony essentially saying that they are not sitting there just listening to you. This is not like the CIA or fucking FBI or something listening to you. And is this a threat? Is this something that we don't want? Something we do want? Do we welcome this? Thoughts on this update?
I think my only confliction with it, to be honest, is the fact that it is part of the hardware itself. Or I guess it's software, but the whole party system is you forming up a group of people in a private conversation. You're not in a public space when you do that. So you make that choice to play with those people and talk to them. So I do kind of agree with the sentiment of people wanting to be able to have a place to have freedom of speech and play and just relax with their friends and stuff. I'd be a little more understanding of this in the aspect of, like, let's say like Activision implemented it in the voice chat in Call of Duty, if you're in the public chat in that regard, versus like your private chat. I mean, it's the same as if like you come into my house and then get upset about the things I'm saying in my house, versus like, you know, if I go to the store and they have the right to tell me to go away. So, I mean, that's really kind of the big one to me, and I do hope they take the feedback on that. As far as, I haven't messed with the actual PlayStation itself, so I don't know what it's like, but if it is cumbersome, hopefully that is something they can improve upon. But you know, these UIs constantly change on these consoles all the time. I mean, Microsoft's very good about constantly changing theirs, as an example. So,
for sure, I'm mixed on this, because one fact of the matter that's I'm not seeing being discussed right now is, if I'm playing a game with you and we're in a party and we're in the middle of playing, I have my PS4 Pro set up to have an hour of recording. I think on the normal PS4, I think it maxed out at 20 or 30 minutes, something like that. It records the game audio and the party audio. So I could already record you right now and send that to them in a more roundabout way. I think there might be a way to report on the PS4. I don't know. But there's already a way to do this pretty much. Am I a fan of that? No, but it's already there. It's been there. So them having a system to essentially do that within the party, I'd like to see why I get on paper why they're doing it, but is there numbers? Is there that many people reporting problems in their parties? And if there is, why are you partying with these people?
Yeah.
That's the big thing. It's like the choice factor. If you're partying, if you're in a private party with people, and people are saying some crazy shit that you feel like you got to report, I'm wondering why you're even playing with those people in the first place, or why don't you just leave? I think one of the first things, and I know people have real strong opinions on this, and I can respect it. People feel like they can't play. Certain people feel like they can't play games online because they'll get harassed, or they're not the right kind of person for certain people, so fucking people say shit, and it's unfair, it's stupid. There's a lot of fucking idiots out there. There's a lot of people who aren't doing that too. I grew up playing games where people talk shit nonstop, no matter what, and the best thing you can do is just hit that fucking mute button and never listen to them again. So that would be my first line of defense, and hopefully this report system, my reservation with it, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, but I think it is the beginning of, I guess, being overly careful to the point where you could start abusing it. So in some games they'll have like a kick system. Enough people fucking vote to kick you, you get kicked out. That gets abused all the fucking time. People don't like you. People don't think you're playing good enough. People accuse you of hacking and get everyone to vote you out. It sucks. It's unfair. And sometimes it works well, but sometimes it doesn't. I can imagine scenarios in this. And again, if you're partying with people in private, why would any of this be happening in the first place? But I can imagine scenarios where somebody fucking baits you into saying something potentially offensive. Maybe they've been spending 20 fucking minutes trying to get you to do something or say something, or get you to say something weird, and then just clip out that 20 seconds and send it off. Yeah. This is a reason why there's laws against, specifically in Washington. We live in Washington State, and there's specific laws about recording people. You can record people, you can't record audio. in that recording. And the reason that is because you can entrap somebody. You could get them, you could fucking be pushing their buttons, saying a bunch of crazy shit, and then you get them on audio saying something, and you just clip that out, try and use it in court. There's obviously problems there. Obviously, it's a different, bigger deal in real life when it comes to legality. But unless that law's changed. Last time I checked was like 3 years ago. I could see somebody doing the same thing with this shit. And I'm kind of all over the place, but like I'm really mixed on this because in essence, I don't have a problem with somebody having a way to report shit to somebody who can help them. In a perfect world, if someone actually needs that assistance, that help, or, you know, has somebody somehow harassing them in private fucking party chat, which I don't, just like leave the party chat or kick them out. I don't on paper think that's a bad tool, but at the same time, I think it sets up a precedent of, I guess, coddling people and allowing too much control. And even if they're not listening now, it's the first step in that direction, right? So like, and the fucking console has existed this whole time without it. So to just bring it up out of nowhere because PS5's coming out, I just like to know more about the reasoning. Again, I don't think it's necessarily that bad of a thing. I just feel like it's unneeded.
I feel like an easy workaround for this too would be to add an opt-out feature and a warning feature. So like if you're joining someone's party and they have that feature enabled, it could just be like, hey, this feature's on in this party. Do you still want to join?
Well, I think too, if somebody, and this might, you know, be controversial, I don't know, but if somebody records the audio from the party, it should let everybody know that 20 seconds of that audio has been recorded and everybody should have access to that audio.
Skype does that.
Sure. So on PS4, they should do that so that you can defend yourself in case they entrap you.
Yeah.
But again, this is turning this into like this whole fucking like reporting system that like could overcomplicate something as simple as like, well, this guy's fucking annoying. Or he said like an offensive thing once. I'm just gonna leave the party, or mute him, or wherever the fuck. Like I don't know. Like I feel like there's already enough tools within your grasp to take control of a situation like this pretty efficiently. But yeah, I feel like this is almost like a really big step for a problem that I don't know is that big. Not, and to be clear one more time, in private party chat, not in public chat. That's a different realm. It's harder to have, not control, because nobody should be controlling it, but have enough input in that situation to really take control of your experience with that. Whereas in a private party chat, you are opting into that. You're opting into who you're in there with. And well,
it's a big reason a lot of people who do like streaming or even content creation, if there's a chat box or voice chat, you don't hear the party or you don't see the voice chat because they can't control what people say.
Yeah.
So
when I get worried about that too, when I stream sometimes with people, I like, you know, I'm just like, not that everybody's gonna be saying some crazy shit, but just like, don't say crazy shit if you're kind of like, because that can affect me, that can affect people watching, that can affect
and I just see more
Twitch
and more
or
people, especially because like Discord's like the chat program for PC at this point. They won't even let it come through their streaming or their recording software anymore because just in case.
The only instance I can think of this being like something I think would be positive, but you could still do this if you're playing the game and just record it. They should just let you report it from anywhere, I guess. I don't know. Is if someone's making like death threats to you.
Yeah.
That you know, then you have proof. Then you can send it to them and be like, hey, this person's like saying they're gonna fucking kill me. That makes sense to me. But like, I don't know, if someone says something offensive, I mean, guess they gave you the tool to report them, but like, I feel like you should be doing a better job at vetting in the process of partying up with people privately.
Well, yeah, and then
But I don't just find random people and party up with them.
Well, what's the potential like ramification for that? And who gets to decide what's offensive at that point? So.
Well, that last question's a big question for the modern era. But yeah, like I said, it's really hard for me to come down hard on this because I see some potential problems. I'll see some confusion in my own opinion on why. But at the same time, how can I fault them for giving certain people tools to protect themselves in certain ways, but to what extremity does that lead? Like you just said, do people get banned? Do they get warnings? Do they get to defend themselves? We see a lot of social media outright punching people, and there's not really a way to offer rebuttal to it.
Yeah.
It's just, this person reported you, fuck you. You're banned for 7 days, or you're banned forever. Twitter has some pretty decent systems in place where you can kind of fight back against it, but not really. So I don't know. It's tricky. It just seems weird. I'm confused by it.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if there's numbers or something of the amount of people who are going, I'm in private party chat and I people are just being really mean to me and I need to fucking report them. Does that happen a lot? Is that a scenario? Let me know in the comments. Is there a scenario maybe you've encountered or a scenario you can think up that realistically could merit them essentially creating this system? Because like I said, on paper I get it, but it's weird to me.
Yeah.
Could you see yourself ever using that?
No.
Me neither.
Even in an extreme case, I think I'd have a hard time just falling into that. I think I would just immediately contact the authorities instead.
Yeah,
So.
I feel it's crazy. I've been fucking. I've had death threats fucking ever since I've been on the internet. So it's nothing new for me. But people shouldn't have to deal with that for sure. But
No, for sure. And
have you ever been in a party chat where you've dealt with somebody to the point where you would feel like you need someone to know about it, or at least kick them or block them? Private party chat.
Private party, never.
Yeah, I've never experienced that.
But I'm also always playing with people I know,
Yeah.
or it's someone I know knows them, type of thing.
Yeah.
I do know, I guess to give a different example or perspective on that, a game like Destiny 2, where you have to find random people through the app to do raids and stuff like that. I imagine you are going to be incentivized to make the content go smoother, to party up with those people. So, I mean, you are playing with randoms at that point, but I don't know. If I don't like someone enough, I just don't play with them again. So,
Yeah.
or I leave the situation because, there's no point in any form of entertainment, game, movie, TV, whatever, where if I'm not having a good time, whether it's because of the game or because of someone else, then I'm going to stay there. I can do something else. So, but that is obviously me. So,
yeah. Again, the only time I can really think of this being something I couldn't really see an argument against is if somebody's making threats towards you, or maybe somebody's streaming and they're in the party and then they dox you and you need evidence that they doxed you,
yeah,
for legal reasons. That's the only thing I can think of. And so in that sense, it's not that big a deal. But I also think people, it's hard because I do hate the idea, in my brain, I'm not doing anything wrong, so who cares? But at the same time, I'm against the idea of people spying on you. And even though they're saying they're not, people being concerned about that, I think is valid. It's not outside of the realm of possibility that a company would spy on you. It happens all the time, everywhere. Your phone's spying on you, your TV's spying on you.
Constantly.
I mean, you literally have a box in your pocket at all times. It's listening to you, and advertisers are thinking about or finding out what they need to sell you, and all sorts of fucking information gathering groups are listening to you. So that's not. I'm not defending that. It's awful. I fucking hate it. It's just the way it is. So the idea of Sony coming out and doing something like that, potentially, I don't welcome. So it's hard for me to go, yeah, this is great. Let's fucking get this going. So I get where people are coming from when it comes to their worries about the potential of that. There's no evidence that is the case. So where I stand, I'm just confused on why it's there. But I can't really think of a strong argument on why they should get rid of it, but I think they need to be very transparent with it. And I think they need to make a countermeasure for people who are also in that party in case somebody finds a way to exploit it, because they fucking will.
Yeah.
They always will.
I think between the two suggestions we've given, that is just a matter of transparency. So, the ability to opt out of it if you don't want it, the ability to know that you're going to be recorded if you join a party, and the ability to be able to have access to recorded clips as well, I think is probably the best option they can do outside of just getting rid of the feature. So
yeah, and if they got rid of it, I wouldn't be opposed to it either. But yeah, I really think like if somebody in the party hits the record button and then is skimming through and picks their 20 seconds, it should tell everybody in the party, somebody in your party has recorded audio. Here's the 5 minutes they took the audio from. You can archive this.
yeah,
I think that'd be fair. Because then, if you're an asshole and you said some crazy shit, you should at least still have that if you want to try and defend yourself. But maybe if you got entrapped in some way or someone's like fucking with you, you can defend yourself. But I don't want party chat turning into that. Not
For
that
sure.
I don't even think this is going to be used that often. But in the fucking case that it does happen, I'm really about people having the ability to defend themselves. So,
yeah, and I think
and I know, in a world where people fucking swap people for nothing, and people have died from it. Not saying this is going to lead to that, but you get where I'm going. People will do that. So it's not outside of their own possibility of somebody exploiting this, the same as they would exploit a kick system just to fuck with someone.
yeah,
Happens all the time.
and I think if you are especially worried about it, my the suggestion would be not to use their party system and use
That's a good point.
Discord on your phone or something to voice chat instead. So
In which somebody records you there too.
sure, if they really want to.
Yeah. I could record the fuck out of anybody real easy. I got my shit set
But
up.
I mean, you could do that on anything.
Yeah.
So if
Wait,
someone
that's
wants
what I
it
was-
bad enough, they're getting it.
Yeah. So they've pretty much streamlined a system to direct report. That's what I was saying in the very beginning. Like I can literally, I've done it a million times. I've like hit the record button, took an hour, used it for the show before, and there's always the chat audio in there, which is kind of cool because if you're just playing a game, you need a clip and everybody's talking. It's real easy. I don't have to do any preemptive shit. It just gets all the audio. It's awesome. But at the same time, there's been 2 times. I didn't do it, but I was playing like Call of Duty or something like that, and someone said some words that are pretty outdated and offensive and shitty to say. I just like hit the record button. I'm like, "Hey, buddy." He's like, "What's up?" I'm like, "I just recorded all that shit you just said." And he's like, "What are you gonna do with it?" I'm like, "I don't know, man. Maybe I'll send it to Infinity Ward on Twitter." He's like, "Oh, I was just joking." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm sure they'll think the same thing." I didn't do it. I was just fucking with him because he's being an idiot. But it's easy. You could easily do that. So
Or that guy you ran into in PUBG.
yeah. Yeah. I recorded that, but I'm not, again, I didn't do anything with it. He's just an idiot. But I'm not everybody's got the same mentality as me, and I don't think everybody should be. If you are offended by shit, you shouldn't have to like toughen up, buttercup. I'm not telling you that.
For sure.
Everybody's different, but it's just it's tricky. It's hard to have a hard decision on it. At the very least, I'm not a fan of it, but
For sure. And if it's going to exist, I think there just needs, like we already kind of brought up,
safety nets.
there's check boxes that you need to go down, I
Yeah.
think, at that point, instead of just it being openly used, because at the point that it is just openly used, it's easier to abuse versus, if I go into a place and they're like, hey, there's this chance that this thing can happen, I'm entering at my own risk. So
Yeah, for sure. Anything else you want to add to that?
no, I think we got it.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments what do you guys think about this private party chat reporting system. You got 5 minutes to take out a 20-second clip. You can send it to Sony or PlayStation through PSN and report people. Do you think it's good? Do you think it's bad? Do you think it's somewhere in between, kind of like where we're at? Is there anything you're concerned about? Do you think it's like completely great and like you could totally use this? Have you found yourself in a situation where you could have used something like this? Have you been in, and I'm genuinely curious about this, have you been in private party chats where you've experienced things that are so extreme that you feel like you could have used the tool to report somebody, or do you typically play with people you know? Have you never experienced this like me and Chevy? Pretty much, yeah, just let us know everything you're thinking about when it comes to this topic in the comments below. Second bit of news is a video we're going to be watching. They showed off the first look at the PlayStation 5 user experience. This is going to show off the UI and a couple of the features of the PS5 when you use this thing. So not really much news to report here on our end. We're going to watch this, we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to discuss it afterwards. Is there anything you want to say before we watch this video? Anything you're hoping for outside of reporting people in private chat?
I mean, honestly, it's I don't know. The UI is not like this thing I'm like clamoring to know too much about. I didn't like the early like Xbox One UI. They have vastly improved it over the years. In fact, the current version of it is very good. But
It took a while to get there, but the 360 kind of did for a while too, and then it got
thing.
bad towards the end. It was
Yeah.
weird. Started lagging and shit.
But it didn't prevent me from using it. So I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I view it as an inconvenience at most if the UI is bad.
Yeah, I don't know, because like the original 360, I know I'm going back a little far, but the original 360 UI I didn't like, and then it got to this like sweet spot where it was great. And then towards the end of the life cycle, there's 2 iterations of it that sucked and started lagging. So they started getting too ambitious with it. And if you think I'm picking on Xbox there, PS3's fucking UI I thought was shit. I hated it. It's way too minimal. I hated the like go over and go up and down, and the PS4 evolved that, and I really like the PS4's UI.
I think they're both based off the Vita, or not the Vita. Yeah, the PSP.
Yeah. Just those earlier versions of the swipe over and go up and down the list thing. I didn't like the way that was set up, and then the PS4 has that system, but it's kind of like Steam, where like when you highlight whatever you're on, it opens up the hub, and then you have all these options. I prefer that over the fucking cross-axis bullshit.
Yeah, the PS3 one was a little too minimal for sure.
Yeah, exactly what it was. And it could have been a limitation of the hardware.
Yeah.
But the PS4's UI, I think, nailed it. So, and the Xbox One's UI got there. Last time I used my Xbox One, I had 0 issues with it.
Yeah,
Which, when
agreed.
it first came out, I had a lot of issues with it.
Yeah, their first UI I didn't like at all.
Yeah.
But again, I just learned how to use it and use it anyways. So yes, I'm curious, but I have a feeling with the way I've seen the evolution of both the PlayStation and the Xbox's UIs that we're still going to see a left, right, up and down, thing with modern aesthetics and creative advertising for games everywhere.
Well, the early Xbox One UI was almost like Windows. It was like all the weird boxes.
It was that weird
shit.
Windows 8 look, and it was awful.
Which was a mistake
Yeah.
for Windows in general, not just Xbox.
No, for sure. Windows 10 is a much better
Miles
version
ahead. Way better.
of what 8 probably should have been in the first place.
I have like no qualms with Windows 10.
I have some nitpicks, but
Not me.
that's my age showing at that point.
Yeah.
So
For me personally, I'm of course curious about the aesthetic visual of the UI. That is always cool to see. I like design, stuff like that. But if they have anything to say on like features, I'm curious about that, because the PS5 has a where it used to be the share button, there's the create button now on the PS5. They still haven't elaborated on that, as far as I know. They maybe talk about it in this video, but they have not talked about that. And they've changed the name, so I'm like, what's different about it? What are we doing with this? So I'd like to know, because I think the PS4, obviously I like editing. I've edited fucking over 1,000 videos in my life easily, and I like editing. And I think the PS4, though it's not great, it has some pretty decent editing tools,
especially Share Factory.
Yeah, for sure. So I'd love to see them expand on that. So very curious about that. Outside of that, just here for the ride.
Agreed.
All right, let's jump into this. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Hi everyone, I'm Hideaki Nishino, and I head up PlayStation's platform planning and management team, which includes product and UX design. Today, we are finally going to
I
give
didn't
you a
even
look
hear
at
about
the
the State of Play
PlayStation 5
coming
user
out. I was
experience.
just way out of the loop, apparently.
We will see some
think
of
it's
the
the State of
features
Play.
that enable games
Said at
to
the
work
beginning, State of
together with
Play.
Oh, did it?
hardware
Yeah.
and network to deliver a truly next-generation experience. Our vision for a PS5 user experience is simple. We believe that your playtime is valuable and should be meaningful. PlayStation team members from all around the world work to deliver
Particle
a PS5
effects.
experience that is completely centered on you, the player, connecting you with a great play and a passionate community of gamers. With a look and feel that's designed for 4K TVs, the PS5 user experience was built from the ground up to take advantage of the console capabilities, complementing the transformative games coming with this new generation. I should note that this video tour is from a pre-production environment on the PS5 console, so there may be a few
I like how
small
all the
tweaks or
PlayStation
minor
UIs
changes
are either
once the
elegant
console
or
launches in
like
November.
obelisk-esque,
let's
like
check it out,
fucking scary
courtesy
almost.
of
Because the
our
PS2
own
was like
Socialize.
eerie.
Thanks, Nishino-san. Welcome to your new PlayStation 5 console experience. This time, we've started up from rest mode. We've already created an account and signed into PlayStation Network, so let's log in. In this case, I've resumed right where I left off in Sackboy: A Big Adventure, and here we're looking at PlayStation 5's
Resumed in
Control
Sackboy.
Center. From here, it's one click and we're right back into the game, but let's take a moment and look around. The Control Center is always one tap of the PlayStation button away. It provides immediate access to almost everything you need from the system without leaving the game. This includes things like seeing who is online, checking the status of a download, managing your controller, power, and more.
Interesting.
These colorful
It's
characters
pretty
are
different.
called cards, and they let you interact with games and the system in a variety of ways. First, as we've just resumed, the Control Center is showing a special card that allows me to get up to date on recent stories posted by publishers for games I am following. Another card
that's
here shows me
exciting.
recent media I've captured from my gameplay using the Create button on the DualSense controller. Let's check out one of the most powerful new features of the PS5 console. They're actually just to the right in this row, and we call them activities. Activities are part of the plan to remove barriers to gameplay. Let's get an example of one way they're used in Sackboy: A Big Adventure. With a tap of the PlayStation button, I'm back to playing the game. Sackboy: A Big Adventure is packed with things to discover, and each level represents one type of activity I can play, many of which I can go back to later to discover more. I tap the PlayStation button to bring up the Control Center again. I can see a number of available activities, both active and suggested by the system. Let's take this first one, A Big Adventure, as an example. I can see that I haven't quite completed this level yet. I'm at 33%. Let's open it up and see more.
It's interesting.
Here I can
It's
see more information, including key objectives I haven't met.
interacting with the
And I'm
game.
seeing a very important piece of information here.
It kind of
says
reminds me
about
of
10
when
minutes
you turn
left.
on
This is
like Final Fantasy
PlayStation 5's
14, there's a
personalized playtime
suggested
estimate,
activities list.
giving me an idea how
Yeah.
long
That
it
you
will
can
take
click
me
on.
to complete this activity.
Sounds like guidance.
Some activities even let you jump directly to that place in the game. But there's more to see.
It's kind of
here.
interesting.
For another example, let's open that activity back up. It looks like I missed an objective to find the monk robe's costume piece. Looks like I need a little help. Some in-game activities, like this one, offer official game help. Game help is included as a benefit for active PlayStation Plus members in some PS5 games.
Weird.
In this case, I can open up that objective to get some hints without resorting to a web search or digging
I was
through
saying that's what it
long
seemed like.
videos
Yeah,
or
they're trying to keep
articles
you in
that
the
might
game
contain
instead of
spoilers.
using
This
third-party
particular
things.
hint is a video.
I hate to bring
and I could
14
play it
again,
here
but
in the
they
car,
literally just
and
made
I
a
can
bunch of
expand it to get
changes
a
to the
bigger
game
view
to
without
do the
leaving
same
the
type
game.
of idea to
Sometimes
try to keep
it's
you
really useful
in the
to
game
be
for
able to see the
resources
hint
instead of
on
using third-party
screen while
tools.
you
So
play. Some cards can be put in a picture-in-picture mode, or as shown here, a side-by-side view. Super cool. And if you pin a card, you can access it via the Control Center at any time. Now let's go find those rascally monk robes.
See, I can't see myself using that too much unless like I was doing some kind of like
Thanks,
search
Game
puzzle.
Help.
And I was looking like, where the fuck is it, dude? And like,
The team at PlayStation
but
wanted
I
to make
even
it
can't
really
find myself
easy
doing
to
that.
chat with your
But
friends on
I
the
know a lot of
PlayStation
people who
5
would use
console.
that definitely.
So let's check out how it works. Here, I'm opening an interactive notification with a tap of the PlayStation button, and I've decided to join the voice
So
chat
I'm
that my friend
enjoying
just entered. Now, my friend could have done this on the PlayStation app for mobile devices,
that you're getting
from a PS4,
an overlay
or in this case,
instead of
from a PS5.
being forced back to the home screen.
DualSense controller
Same, yeah.
features an integrated microphone too, so I could
Because
start
with the
talking
PS4,
right
you
away.
just have the
But
left
I
side
also
you
have
can
the
pull up
ability to hit
with
the
limited
mute button on
options,
the
or go
controller
back to the
or
home
in the
screen.
menu.
Yeah.
Parties take on an expanded role with PS5, and they now provide persistent spaces to connect with
I like how
groups
clean it
to
is
play
too.
with.
It's
Here I
very
have a
minimal.
couple of
It's
friends
much more
chatting
thought out.
away in the party.
Yeah.
One of them has started
A lot
sharing
of those
their
features are
screen
pretty
with the
new
group.
when the PS4 was coming out too. So
Looks like they're playing Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. We can chat while we play,
It's
and I
interesting that
can
it
watch
can
his
run.
progress as well.
while you're playing still.
This is
I was
another
wondering if you
card
do
that
that.
can be put in picture-in-picture mode or pinned to the side while you
That's
play.
kind of cool. You'd be
You
playing
can
different
access it
games and
anytime via
talking.
the control center too, but let's dismiss it for
What's
now.
weird about that? They just added that to iOS as well. If I'm watching
Okay,
a
let's
video, I can
review.
pin it in a corner.
So
now.
far, we've seen how activities on PS5
Well, I mean, I can do that
make
on
it
Android.
easier and
Well, yeah,
faster
I'm
to hop back
But to
into
do
the
it
PS5
when someone else is playing,
and
he's
how you
watching
can
somebody
get
else play
in-game
that
help
Yeah.
in the
and chat with
party.
your friends. So that leaves online multiplayer gaming. Let's check it out. I see that some of my friends are online, so it's time to say goodbye to Sackboy for now and spin up a match of Destruction All-Stars. One of my friends in the party has already started a match, and we can join them from this card in Control Center. And there we go. Destruction All-Stars now
Seems like
quickly
I'm
starts
spending
thanks
less
to
time on the
PS5's
home screen,
ultra-high
which is
speed
interesting.
SSD. Okay, I think we've got enough people on our party, so let's jump in. We're keeping the focus on PS5's user experience today, so let's zip ahead so we can see more. And just like that, we're in. We don't have time to play a full match today, but I do think we have time to take a quick photo. To do that, I'll just tap the Create button on the DualSense controller. PS5 is always capturing recent gameplay, but when you compose a shot, even using in-game photo mode, you can capture a high-quality screenshot here. This optimizes capturing the moment.
I
letting you
hate that
review
it's cut
and choose
off,
to
though.
share later on.
Yeah.
You
I
can't see the
should
whole pictures. You
mention,
can't.
Screenshots and video can be captured at up to 4K on the PS5 console. Okay, so far
I guess it's not
we've
that big a
shown
deal
off
because if you do
how
it
to
now,
jump
it
into
takes up the left side of the
activities,
screen
how to
and
chat
just
with your
pause where you're
friends,
at.
get into groups
But
together
it
to
still
play,
seems weird.
capturing gameplay, all of that while in game. But what if I want to play a different game? Welcome to the PlayStation 5 home screen. This is where you'll land when you start up from a powered off state, and where you'll go when you want to choose a new game to play or download. The layout of this space is designed to
I like
present
how minimal
games
it
and
is.
game content beautifully on a 4K display, with simple and super fast access to what you need. And in case you're wondering, media-related apps will have their own space like this one, but today we're focused on gaming. Each game has its own hub.
It's a cleaner looking version of the
so all you
PS4,
need to
except
do
for the
is
main
scroll
bar in the
down to
center
see
is just up
activities you
there
can
now,
jump
and you have
right
more of
into.
the
Video clips,
hub.
Yeah, I
stories
say it
about the
seems
game,
pretty much the
DLC,
same.
and
Just
more.
all that
Backward
info that you
compatible
get when you
PS4
highlight
titles will
is the
benefit from
focus
some
instead
these
of
features too.
the bar.
Let's move one spot to the left and check out Explore, which brings together all your games. We saw a view of this from the Control Center earlier, and another view will also be in the new PlayStation app for mobile devices. Explore keeps you in the loop with official stories from PlayStation and from all the games you're following, including trending media from the community. We'll be testing and learning about this feature in the US at launch, so not everyone will have this on day one, but it gives you a good idea of the direction. And this is PlayStation Store for PS5. It's completely integrated into the system. It's not a standalone app anymore.
Good.
Browsing for new games to play will be easier thanks to the speed of PS5 and a more personalized store experience.
I always kind of hated
And
that
here, you'll
loading
be
section
able to
of
browse
Game to
the
the
latest
Store.
games and deals.
Not that big
You'll
deal,
find
but I
PS5
don't like it.
games
Yeah, I
and
mean they
backward
improved it with
compatible
4
PS4
from
games
3 because
too.
3 was
I'm
really
sad
bad,
to
but
say, but we are almost out of time.
yeah,
So
I
let's pull up
definitely
Control Center one
agree.
more time with a tap of the
I prefer
PlayStation
the-
button. On our way out,
the way
why
it
don't
is-
we
this new
quickly
way.
share that photo we took in Destruction All-Stars. We can find recently captured media in this handy card in Control Center. From here, we can do some quick edits, but I think I'm ready to share it right now. On PlayStation 5, I have the option to share videos and images to supported external services, or I can send them directly to one of my parties. Remember, parties are bigger than just voice chat now, so I'll select one of my favorite parties here. Let's attach a quick message here. The DualSense controller makes this really easy. PlayStation 5 supports voice dictation in a number of languages, so you no longer have to type messages with the keyboard if you don't want to. Simply select the microphone.
So what they've shown
Here's a cool detail. If
is
my
like,
friend
you
hasn't
know, when
yet played the
you
activity where I captured
attach
this video,
photos
and the
to
game's
send in
developer
messages and
thinks
stuff
that
like that.
activity might contain
In this case, now the
spoilers,
photo goes
they'll
over
receive
there,
a warning
and you
before
can
they
just
view it.
do it
Well,
all right
that's
there.
it for our demo. There are many more exciting features we couldn't get to today, but we're super excited to share more of the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation app user experience with you in the coming weeks headed to launch. And of course, this was just a first look at what fans could expect on day one. The team at PlayStation is committed to evolving this experience with our community in the months ahead. We look forward to sharing more. Thanks for watching.
PlayStation.
All right. And apologies for me fucking leaving for a split second. My watch had decided that a workout was happening. It was letting me know the auto workout was over. I'm like, okay, I didn't know it started. I didn't know we were working out. All right, so what do we think of the user experience of PS5?
I'm going to start with the home screen, actually, I think. I think the home screen is just a cleaner version of what we have, which is not a good or bad thing. It is, but it is. It is much nicer looking and cleaner. Definitely, you can tell they had higher resolutions in mind when they're designing it. It's very crisp. So I think the big takeaway from that is mostly the store being integrated now. I think that is a much more desirable place for the store to be, because we kind of brought it up earlier with like the 3 and the 4. You opened up an app, you had to wait for it to load, and then depending on whatever updates they did to that app and stuff like that, it just started getting slowed and bogged down constantly. In this case, it's just part of it. So other than that, I like that what they've done with that left menu that pops out is just an overlay that pops up. And anyone who plays things on like Steam,
That's the first thing I thought of was Steam when I was seeing all this.
Yeah, Steam, Discord, any program essentially on PC is pretty used to the idea of an overlay. I welcome a controller-friendly console version of this because I do use overlays in those apps. Not like all the time, but enough that it's useful. And especially in the case of like playing a game, especially if you're playing something that's online, not having to get forced to the home screen and still being able to see what's happening in the game, I think is very big in that regard. Because you don't have to hope that you come back and you're not dead or something like that. You can see it happening while you're doing all the stuff you need to do or whatever. So, so that's a big improvement. I like that. Other than that, I mean, it's pretty much what I expected. Just obviously not like I didn't know what it was going to look like, but functionality wise, it seems familiar.
Yeah. First off, the home screen, even though it is a slight change, I think it's a huge change in my opinion. The reason for that being is you take this top section right here and you put it down and make it bigger. That's what the PS4 is like. There's a lot of things underneath each app or game that I don't interact with. I have no interest in pressing D or down on the D-pad and going and looking down there and seeing what the fuck's down there. To move everything up into the corner, that's less important, like just selecting a game. I don't need a big picture of it. I just need to know what game it is, and we can see them clearly. There are little thumbnails there. But to see a bigger overlay of all the things that they may want to show you in a social sense, I think is a smarter move for somebody like me and probably a lot of people because they did this. It will give you a better view of anything they need to show you with the game, or if someone that you know is playing the game and might show some of their info there. It's a smarter emphasis on the social aspect or the news aspect of the game or the console, and moving the thumbnails up out of the way, which I think is a smarter direction. And then the visual style, it's a wallpaper in the background with little minimal thumbnails. I think it's a better looking design, and with the power and speed of the PS5 or the PS4, they can do the integrated store easier. They can do all this shit faster. Makes complete sense. I do like that the store is integrated because now it's a seamless system and not like, well, I gotta go into the store now, and then you load into the store and now you're in a separate entity, and then you come back to the home screen, and it just didn't feel good. Not that it ever stopped me from going to the store and buying games. But I think it's a better system. It's something that I wished the PS4 did. So I'm glad they did that. Some of the stuff here, the I forgot what it's called, but the thing that showed like the family, this thing, meet the family, the explore thing. I don't know if I'm going to be going on that very often. There's a couple tabs on the PS4 I have like zero interest in going into. When it comes to stuff like this, but it's cool for people who are into that. Hopefully you can have the option to remove some of these things off of here, or maybe make folders like the PS4. I hope you can do that. As for the startup, it's very PlayStation, very elegant, very cool looking, very minimal. It seems to be just like the PS4, an emphasis on gaming. That's it. Playing games. And so the overlay here tells me that they want you to spend less time on the home screen, more time in the game, and if you need something from the home screen, it's an overlay over your game, which I think is better and more modern. This whole structure of the UI knowing what game you're playing, and if the dev decides to do it, giving you some kind of guidance, some kind of overlay that gives you objectives and kind of tells you, oh hey, you have this other thing you didn't do though. Kind of reminds me of an MMO, like you're saying, kind of
achievement, progress, etc.
Exactly, yeah. And on the PS4 and other consoles right now, they show you like your trophies and stuff like that, but that's about it. So it kind of brings some of that gaminess to the console itself. So I think it's cool. Bringing up videos and stuff like that to keep you from getting on your phone or hopping on your computer or whatever to figure something out. I think it's cool. I mean, I don't do that very often, but I do sometimes. But people out there who are like not as into like, oh, I'm gonna beat this on my own, blah 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 blah, and there's like, oh, what the fuck, what am I supposed to do here? If there's just like an easy thing in the UI that fucking allows you to like go and check real quick, it's like, hey, you should go maybe over in this direction, and maybe you'll figure it out. It's like, oh, it's like a hint. It's like when you play a Naughty Dog game, if you spend too long in one area, they've programmed into the game, someone go, hey, what's that over there? And it's kind of like
pull them a little bit.
Yeah. And I don't think every dev's going to do this, but that they can do that, I think is really fucking cool. Because I mean, I always have to think about that not every person is me when it comes to gaming. There's a lot of people. There's all sorts of people that fucking play games, and for different reasons, and some people are like, I don't play the hardest thing ever and it gives me a boner, and other people are like, I don't give a fuck. I just want to come home and play a game casually. I don't give a shit. All sorts of people. All boners everywhere. And that's cool. I'm glad that there's something for everyone here, and you don't have to use certain things, or you can use certain things. It's pretty cool. I kind of like it. I don't kind of like it. I do like it. I think it's cool.
The one thing I do like, and maybe it's just because, being an adult and working, but it kind of giving you an estimated time it might take to complete a level, though. I kind of like that because then I can go, should I just shut it off now, or can I actually, do I have time for this, type of thing. So I actually do appreciate that aspect a lot as a working adult. So.
Yeah, for sure. And then to have somebody you're playing, so the PS4 already allows you to let people watch you play games, which I think is cool, but underutilized. I don't really use it ever. I've used it like 3 times maybe in the whole time I've had a PS4. And to let people play your games, stuff like that. It's all neat technology, but they didn't really find a way to like make it really something you need to do or want to do too much. It's just kind of there as a tool, and I will never complain about that. I love having options. But like I don't do it very often, but I have played a game and had someone else play a different game, and it's been voice chat talking with them while playing a game casually. Not even playing the same game, but I don't do that often. But I see the appeal to it, obviously, but that if you can have somebody else's gameplay that they're doing and vice versa, slightly overlaid on the game you're playing, that allows a whole new dimension of socializing while gaming. The same as if I had a friend over here playing on like my other PC or my PS4 while I'm playing this. We're still just like bullshitting, but playing games or whatever, even if we're not playing the same game. I think it's really neat, like, even because there's that weird moment when you're in voice chat you can't see each other. You don't see what the fuck they're doing. So like they're sitting there silently for a little bit. They might be like investing in the game, but it's just silence, and it's not a big deal. But if you can see their gameplay, and you're playing, and you kind of like look over and you see they're in like a firefight or whatever, and then they get out of it and they beat them, you'd be like, oh, nice one. Like fucking, there's that social element to it that like if you are more of a social gamer, that's kind of next level shit. That's crazy that we're able to do that now.
For sure. Well, you know what else it brought it to mind when you were kind of bringing up the social aspect of it, or just like those features existing but not being realized. So like examples I've seen is like I've streamed gameplay of what I was doing on my PlayStation to someone else. They are stuck using their console to watch that. They can't do anything else with it now. It's locked in, right? They're watching my gameplay.
Yeah.
This allows them to continue to watch and still use their console for whatever they want. And then also, the other point I want to bring up for that is like, I don't play certain types of games, and I'm always like, oh, I'll probably just watch some. You play it. I'll just watch you play it, and I just don't. I have to choose to like leave what I'm doing, and schedule time to sit down and do that kind of thing. And in this case, I can literally be doing both.
Yeah,
I could be playing something while you're playing something I would never play, and I could just make sure to be playing something kind of casual that I don't pay much attention to, so I can watch what you're doing, but still be doing something instead of being locked into just watching. So
that is true. This also, I just thought about this because I was like, oh, if you're playing separate games, or what if you're playing the same fucking game co-op and you can just see what they're doing?
Yep.
Like if you were playing split screen back in the day, or if I'm playing Call of Duty with Josh and I just have his screen up, so if he goes down and know what happened, like that's going to change the way people play games.
It is 100%.
Which is interesting. So I'm curious if like certain games will allow this, certain games won't, or if they're all going to be like this.
Well, and even in a co-op setting, something like a Destiny 2 raid, to bring that game back up again, you can, if you're helping someone do something, you can actually see what they're doing and give them better advice and tips and stuff like that. So
it's interesting. You can actively be playing and watching them at the same time like that. So I think it's a cool feature. I'm curious about how it's going to work for like games like FPSs.
The competitive scene. That's a big question mark for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I do think it is nothing but beneficial for cooperative scene, though.
Or socializing in general.
Yeah.
I can't see any bad things about it except for competition. And I know like official competitions probably won't allow that.
Yeah.
Unless they do. They're like, everybody can use it. But like I said, that will change how FPSs are played, at least on PS5.
Yeah.
If you know other teams are going to be... I mean, even if you're playing against another team and they're all in the same party versus if they're not talking to each other, it's a big difference in the way they're going to play.
Yeah.
Just like if everyone's hooked up and they can see each other playing and shit, they're going to be playing way better because they're going to know when their friend went down, where they went down exactly. They don't got to rely on their friend going, oh, I was by the red barn, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, what red barn? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. They could see it and go, oh, shit, and turn around and shoot somebody. So, and I'm not even necessarily opposed to that, but I don't know if I gotta try it and practice. I was very adamant back in the day, back in the fucking day on like Halo, playing split screen with people. I would like put a divider up so people can see my screen because I was like that competitive. I was like, I don't want you to be able to see my screen.
I feel like they're gonna give devs the option to opt out of letting people do that.
Well, just like screen recording, certain games will block.
Oh yeah,
screen recording.
Yep, usually story heavy ones.
Yeah, so. Maybe to avoid that, maybe they'll allow like Call of Duty or other FPSs to go like, nope, no screen sharing of this game. So I don't know. Otherwise, though, I think it's great, and I'm not even opposed to it. Like I said, I just don't know. It's kind of a different frontier, I guess. You can do stuff like that on PC already, but you'd have to put a little more work into it.
I say once again, like when we brought up the voice thing, the work has to be put in, but the tech is already there. It could already be done. But them making it convenient makes it more accessible, makes it potentially, the issues can be potentially larger at that point.
And again, adding that context, if you're just in a voice chat with someone, I actually kind of love the idea of if I'm playing a game, I'm playing a single player game, but like me and a buddy want to talk, and he's playing something else too, or maybe playing the same fucking game, it's a single player game, we'll just like watching each other play the same game.
Share that experience.
It sounds cool to me.
Yeah.
And that the hardware can do that seamlessly like that, it's fucking dope. So yeah, all in all, this menu down here, minimalized, it's down there. You pretty much get what all these things are. It's essentially taking that left section of the screen and pulling it down to the bottom. Obviously a lot faster. Everything on this is gonna be a lot faster. All in all, I really like everything about it so far. There's nothing about it I'm necessarily feeling negative about. So the only thing that's gonna be weird is relearning a new UI, but that's never that big of a deal. So
Yeah.
you can normally catch on
When
pretty
it
quickly.
seems like all the features are technically still there with just a different appearance too. So
Yeah.
or like quicker ways to get to them.
Well, and the ones that are new or at least more advanced seem pretty fucking straightforward. I mean, when you look at these menus, they got big old buttons. They're like, you want to play this? Hey, you want to use the fucking corner to put your person who's watching down there?
Yeah.
Like it's designed kind of like a phone. Phones are designed so you can just look and go, oh, must be the way to do this. So
Yeah.
it's like the first time I ever held an iPhone. I was like, oh, this makes sense. I just fucking figured out instantly. I was like, this is genius. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. Obviously, everything's kind of standardized. But yeah, all in all, I think it's great. And just makes me more excited to get my fucking PS5. Anything else you want to say?
No, I'm just curious like how it feels at this point. I honestly wasn't expecting them to show me anything that I might care about, but I do think the social features specifically are a little more exciting than I had anticipated them to be. So
Yeah, it really feels like they're just enhancing all the things they've already tried. Lessons learned, let's make them better. And it seems like they did. So,
for sure.
yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Let us know in the comments, what do you guys think about the new UI and experience on the PS5? What are some things you really like? Some things maybe didn't like? What are some things you'd like to see that they didn't show? Maybe see more of something. What do you think about that picture-in-picture, watching your friend play a game while in voice chat with them? Do you think that's cool? How do you think it's going to affect competitive games? Yeah, it's a whole new frontier in that sense. Let me know everything you're thinking about in the comments below. But that's going to do it for this episode of Tasty Tuesday on Tasty Loot Gaming. As always, thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this episode. Make sure to check out our other episodes. Check us out on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Tasty Loot Gaming. Check out our streams. Links down below. I've been streaming a lot here on this channel and over on Twitch. Links are down below. Well, the link for Twitch is down below. You can stay here if you want to watch me stream. We have Discord link down below. You can talk to us anytime, all the time. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and other podcast platforms. If you prefer to listen to us, you can type in hashtag AskTLG on your comment if you'd like to be considered on TastyCast, which is now on Fridays. And you can support the channel by watching the episodes, liking, commenting, and sharing. We're almost at 2,000 subscribers. Let's get to that fucking number before the end of the year. I think we have like 80 people left, so that's not that big of a number, I guess. And yeah, Patreon link down below if you like to support the channel even further. My name's Seth.
I'm Chevy.
Till next episode, which will be Friday for TasteCast. Have a good week, guys, and take it easy.